And welcome everyone to the DevNation show. Oh, I see that my green screen is not well set. Sorry for that. Let me try. And please, I'm trying something new here. So let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Hey, James. Hi, Gigi Mehdi. Great to see you. Can you confirm you can hear me, please? And I hope the quality is a bit better than usual. Well, the bitrate could be better. Okay, yeah, I see that in the okay. Not so good, and I can see poor quality. Yeah. Oh God. Oh boy. Let's hope it will be getting better. Little fuzzy because I'm trying instead. Because for people who don't know, we are doing a crazy setup right now to do the stream. I do a blue jean with my guest, and we send that on a machine running in the cloud that has OBS and that does the streaming. I try to bypass that now to use directly the Restream platform. Yeah, let me see if I can change. Can I change the quality now? I'm not sure I can do that while I'm streaming. Settings, 70. In settings, yeah. Oh, yeah, but I'm already in 720p. So let's hope it's catch up a bit. Let me double check I'm on the correct stuff. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And not your fault, Edson. Yeah, I said, let's try it, okay? Because if we never try it, I'm not sure why the quality is, yeah, bitrate is the key. Yeah, bitrate is the key. I don't know why the Restream Studio doesn't send too much data. Let's see how it goes with the interview. That's going to be funny. Anyway, if you can hear me, that's the most important stuff. Look at me, you see me a bit fuzzy. But anyway, welcome to the show. And okay, move forward. Okay, thank you. Welcome to show number 10, I think. Okay, and really important. After this show, we will do a little break of 2 weeks. Next week is KubeCon, and well, we share this with this stream with OpenShift TV, and they have other plans, so we skip it. And the week after, it's Thanksgiving, and we also skip it. So it will be a break for me, 2 weeks, but don't worry, in December we come back. Okay, with for 3 or 2 extra shows for 2020. Okay. Anyway, it's time now for the intro before the interview, and yeah, you know, every time I speak, I play a different instrument, and so this week it will be guitar again, and I will do a cover from Phoebe from Friends. So relax, imagine. Oh no, that's not the right one. Imagine that you are sitting in the Central Park. Okay, you grab a cup of coffee. Oh, it's a transparent. It's a green glass. So anyway, you have a coffee. Okay, and I take the guitar. Okay, whoa, and I will do, you know, the Smelly Cat song. Wow. I already did that a few months ago. I decided to do it again. So I will do Smelly Cats, okay? But this time it will be called Smelly Code, okay? Smelly code, why are they coding you? Smelly code, it's not your fault. One more time. Smelly code, how are they coding you? Smelly code, it's not your fault. Okay, thank you everyone. Again, it's always a challenge for me to play music live, but it's funny. So small jingle, and then we move to the interview. Okay, hey, Horacio.
Hello. How are you, Sebastian?
I'm fine, thanks. So one of the reasons that I choose Restream is because you can add guests, But yeah, if the quality is poor, I don't know. Let me check on the stream. Oh, maybe it's a bit better. Looks like a bit better on the. If you can see on the say in the chat if it's a bit better. Looks like better. Anyway, with Restream, you can just send a link to the guest, and he clicks it, and he comes in the stream, and no crazy setups anymore. So anyway. Welcome, Horacio. Thank you so much of being our 10th guest, I think so. And
Wow.
yeah, already. Let me remove the central perk, even if it's, yeah. And yeah, first of all, can you introduce yourself for people who don't know you?
Yes, I can. I am Horacio González, and as you can hear, I am a Spaniard living in France. I have been living here for 20 years, so my English accent is a combination of the worst traits of Spanish and French accents. Sorry about that, Sebastian. And yeah, I work at developer relations at OVH Cloud. OVH Cloud. We are a cloud and hosting provider, the biggest European cloud and hosting provider.
Okay, so that's interesting. We will come back on this. Let me ask the same question I asked to everyone who is a dev advocate. So, like me, you were a dev advocate and traveling the world like crazy, and then the lockdown happened back in March. And how did you handle this situation?
Oh, well, at the beginning, I thought, so no more travel, no more airport lounge, no more conference. I am going to have a lot of time for doing a lot of things I have never time to do, and not. It is even crazier. Since the beginning of lockdown, I think I have done lots of different things, many more things than before, and it's kind of complicated. I don't know why, but I have lots of work, different kind of work, trying to structure community actions, technical communication in this new paradigm. And it's really interesting, but it is also a lot of work. I am not sure about you, but...
Well, it's the same for me. Yeah, too much work, too much thing at the same time, but only things that I like, at least. So, and that's the problem, I think, and because yeah. And okay, let me see. Just I double check. Oh yeah, everyone says that you are perfect, the quality, and my quality is poor because so it's on my end. Yeah, my 4G connection is probably the problem. Oh, too bad. Anyway, people can really well see you, so that is great. And also, you mentioned that we do a lot of stuff together with two other crazy dudes.
Yeah.
We decided to launch a conference this year, a French conference. And yeah, do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I can talk. Well, it was at the beginning of summer. I was speaking with Philippe Charrière, a guy who works at GitLab, and hey, conference, we are missing seeing each other in conference, looking at all those great speakers. We should do something. And it was almost a joke. Hey, we could do a conference. Yeah, it would be nice to having Sebastian and Francois in the team. Yeah. And we talked to you and to Francois Teichen, and you said, hey, it's a good idea. So almost without thinking about it, we decided to do a conference, La Rentrée des Speakers, the speakers back to the school in September.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was so nice that just after then we said, hey, why not another one for Halloween, and then another for Christmas, and then another, and then another? And we decided to change it in a more regular thing called Le Rendezvous des Speakers, the speaker meetings, the meetings of the speakers. And right now we are preparing the Christmas edition. And every edition, we try to iterate to add something better, new formats, new streaming setup. That time, the first time we did everything in using a platform, a nice platform called Remo. And this time we try to stream ourselves using OBS and YouTube Live, then StreamYard, then Zoom to OBS to YouTube Live. So we try to find a good setup for a small conference like that.
Yeah. And and next month we will have the Christmas of Speakers, another edition, and it's great. And as you said, we try crazy things like what I did. I decided this morning, let's try the Restream Studio.
Yeah.
And we were doing the same for the conference. In the morning, this morning, let's try Zoom. Let's try StreamYard with this. Let's try. It was really funny.
It's a good way, trying and keeping the things that work. We had some problem streaming with Google Meet. Then we decided to switch to Zoom, and we have some problems with that. We do that, and we iterate on it. I like the idea of iteration. It's very agile.
It's very agile. Yeah. And we have to try. We have to try things out in production for real. Otherwise, we don't know if it works. And, okay. Hey, tell me a bit more about your company. In English, OVH, you say?
OVH Cloud. OVH Cloud.
I say always OVH.
Yeah, OVH was the old name, but many people, but your company, what is about? So we decided to change it to OVH Cloud. Okay. So people almost instinctively, they understand we do cloud and hosting. It is at the beginning, it was a French company created 20 years ago. Mainly we did hosting and dedicated servers, and year after year we have grown bigger and bigger. Now we are a world-class provider. We have data centers all around the world. We have a whole catalog of product from dedicated servers to web hosting to cloud, both private and public cloud. And we are an alternative to the big giants of the United States or China. We are the biggest European one. So if you have an infrastructure to build, an application to install, you can always look at our website. I think you will maybe get surprised by our products.
Okay, yeah. Speaking about these products, I know you are doing some stuff around Kubernetes. And so I asked you if it was a Kubernetes distribution, and you say no, it's a Kubernetes manager that you provide. So
it's a managed Kubernetes, as many of our competitors are doing, because it is one of the things I really love about Kubernetes is that it really allows you to be free about your cloud provider. Maybe it isn't politically correct that that works for a cloud provider say that, but it's almost a philosophic point of view for me, but also for my company. So we agree on that. We think that it is great for the user to be able to choose the cloud provider and to switch from one to another, or even to be in several cloud providers. It is a smart move. If the customer can choose and can change, we are sure that if they remain with us, it is because we are giving a good service. And for me, Kubernetes, its best side is that it levels the field. If you deploy something on Kubernetes at OVH Cloud, tomorrow you can deploy it on another cloud provider or on-premise in your Kubernetes clusters. But for me, it works better if you don't have to do all the low-level administration, install, patching task on Kubernetes, applying all the security patches, installing. And for that, I think that a product like a managed Kubernetes, where the user gets a full Kubernetes to work with, and the cloud provider gets the heavy task of installation administration, is a good way to doing things. So we have deployed, we have released a managed Kubernetes service almost 2 years ago, first as a beta, now as a full-scale product, and we do lots of other things around it. But for me, that's in the Kubernetes way of doing things. It's the kind of product that really gives something, some real added value to the customer. It gives them a Kubernetes without the hassle of administration, but they can change to another provider when they want.
Yeah. That makes totally sense. Yeah. Hybrid cloud, multi-cloud. That's a hot topic. And so the managed, that means that you can go on OVH cloud sites, you create an account, and then in a few clicks, you can have your Kubernetes cluster running.
That's the idea. You can go to our web manager UI, then you go to the public cloud. Hey, I want a managed Kubernetes cluster. It is going to ask you what kind of setup you want to begin. You are creating some node pools. So I want, because you can use any instance in our public cloud from the small one to the biggest, or to instance specifically for high CPU or high memory. So you choose what kind of instance you want in your cluster. You click, and 5 minutes after, you are playing with your Kubernetes cluster.
Wow, nice. Yeah. That's what we all dream about, having few clicks and having your cluster. And by default, you say you have a node pool, but by default, how much node do you have? How many masters? How many?
By default, the master in our managed Kubernetes, it is managed by us. I could speak maybe another day of how we do it, because we use something we call Kubinception. We run our customers' Kubernetes masters. We run them as nodes in our Kubernetes admin clusters. So we are running Kubernetes on Kubernetes. It makes us easier to administer lots and lots of clusters with a small team. But that's for another day. You as a customer, you only need to define how many worker nodes you want. So you, by default, you get one node pool with 3 nodes, because we think that 3 nodes is the minimum. You can reduce that to 1 if you want, but 3 is a good number. So if you do the by default, you get your 3 nodes of the same kind, and you can begin to deploy your manifest and play with your cluster. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 3 nodes. That's what we do also with OpenShift, when you can deploy it on any cloud as well, and like you. And yeah, by default, you get free masters and 3 nodes. And what we also do now is you can tell a master to also be a worker node. And for
that's really nice. We, as the master, we keep them in our own clusters to make administration sample. We do this Kubinception thing. We prefer not giving any option around the master to our customers. They have workers. They can have different kind of node pools with different kind of instances, but we keep it in a managed way. Yeah, they don't need to think about the masters. It's almost as if the masters, hey, they are our problem. You play with your cluster, you add nodes, you deploy your workloads, but the master is our problem.
Yeah. That's a good way. And do you provide any web UI on Kubernetes
We don't deploy any standard, any by default UI. We advise people to install either a Kubernetes dashboard, or to play with things, installing Istio, having the monitoring. But we want to keep it really free. We offer a Kubernetes that we administer, but you can install what you want on it. Last 2 weeks ago, almost for a joke, we were preparing our yearly summit, the ecosystem experience. So I did a small administration UI, but mostly as a joke, because it is a UI based on Space Invaders.
Oh, yeah,
but it's not a real product right now.
And okay, so on Kubernetes, let's talk about you and Kubernetes. Yeah. What is your favorite Kubernetes feature?
Well, The question is complicated. I am not sure of right now what is my favorite feature, but when I began to learn Kubernetes, the thing that impressed me the most was the idea, hey, you can declaratively define an architecture and then you deploy it in one cluster, or you can simply clone it in another cluster. So I had worked for years in a banking environment, and one of my problems was always to be able to have real development environments to test my application. And with Kubernetes, that kind of things become easier, a lot easier to do. Hey, you can clone your cluster and having a development or a testing or a validation cluster that is really a mirror of the production one. And when you make things that work in your development cluster, hey, they are going to work in the same way in the production one. And for me, with my background from years ago in the banking, it was, wow, that's really a game changer.
Yeah, game changer. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's true. The collaborative way of saying what you want and you just apply it. It's crazy.
And it's reproducible. You apply it in one cluster, you apply it in another cluster, and most of times they work the same.
Yeah, most of the time. But yeah, I didn't.
That's in theory.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And the second question related to the first one is, if you could pick or imagine the feature of your dreams, and it will be included in the next Kubernetes release.
In the next, oh yeah, I would really love to have a real cluster federation. I would really love to be able to do a real multi-cloud Kubernetes cluster, being able to deploy in several clouds or in several regions and administer my cluster in a single way. I have read a lot about Kubernetes federation since the first time I look at Kubernetes, but it is still not a real thing. I know there are many ways to do it. I really love Rancher, for example, but I would love to see it as a native feature. Hey, we want to have a Kubernetes cluster spread in 3 regions in this cloud provider in Europe and 2 regions in that other cloud provider in the States.
Yeah.
And I want to administer it in a single unified standard way. You can dream.
Well, we can dream. Well, I don't want to promote Red Hat too much, but we this year we released ACM, which is oh my God, I don't know what the A is for, but cluster management, and and it's more or less this. You have one single UI where you can administer all your cluster around the world, and by clicking you can just deploy, and then yeah. And about federation, I don't know if you know this tool. This one that I use a lot is it's more for load balancing and failover, which is called Scupper. You know?
Yeah, I have tested it for failover, and I think it's something really in the good way. I think I would love to see that more native, standard, easier. For me, it's the next step, and to be able to do simply that kind of wonderful thing. I think I am going to try your Red Hat thing. We will talk after the.
Yeah. But yeah, the Scupper is magic for me, because Scupper is really, you install a CLI, you do Scupper in it, then you annotate your service with a special annotation, and then you do Scupper connect. A create connection token, you get a token, and then on your other cluster you just do Scupper connect this token, and it's bind together, and it's it's magic for me. So, let me just check on the chat. Oh, advanced. Yeah, James, you say it's advanced cluster management. Totally, it's advanced. Yeah, and
okay.
and Sun.
I am going to note that.
And Sun is there. Hey, Sun. Yeah, new layout. We're trying something new with WeStream. So yeah. So anyway, okay. So We talked about Kubernetes, and is there anything topic that you want to something else about Kubernetes that you want to mention with me? How do you see the future of, well, not speaking of a future that you would like to have, but how do you see the future of Kubernetes?
Well, I must say that if I look 4 years in the past, I am really impressed of how Kubernetes has become a de facto standard. And it is kind of crazy that, yeah, now there are Kubernetes almost everywhere, and it is doing some real production workloads in all kind of companies. So for me, for the future, I think it's going to continue to grow up. Maybe I love WebAssembly. I really love WebAssembly. So this year, when I saw that Microsoft was working in Cruiselet, kubelet for WebAssembly, I thought that if they succeed to do it performant, easy to use, and all that, we are going to see lots and lots of Kubernetes deployment, not using Docker, but using WebAssembly. Because for many small workloads, the advantage of WebAssembly, it is going to start faster, is going to be a smaller workload because you don't need to put the whole image, you only need to put your WebAssembly load and all that. There are many advantages on WebAssembly about Docker for many cases, and if WebAssembly can be run natively in Kubernetes using something like Cruiselet, it's going to be a game changer for me.
Okay, I have to dive into WebAssembly, but I noticed that Istio now you will be using WebAssembly for the filters instead of using the mixer and writing C++. Now you will be able to make your Istio filters in WebAssembly. And I say, okay, that's maybe the good opportunity for me to dive into this topic now. And
it's an excellent moment for a backend developer to get interested in WebAssembly. The problem of WebAssembly is the web. Most people think, yeah, it is mainly for the web, but no. As a backend developer, WebAssembly, it is becoming very, very quickly a real alternative, a real option for many use cases. For example, Ilya, there are more and more of fast function as a service platforms that use WebAssembly instead of running Docker image or along with Docker image, because performance, size, and all that. So I think that for a backend developer, it's a good moment. It isn't mainstream yet, but it's interesting and useful enough right today to deserve your attention.
Okay, so for everyone, learn WebAssembly is a good moment to learn it. Okay, hey, you were mentioning a game that you did last week.
Yeah.
You know, I love games. I do games every week, at least I try. And you mentioned something about Space Invader. I did also a Space Invader. Well, I didn't code it. I integrated an existing Space Invader. It's called Cube Invader, and you can kill pods. So
I
can
really
you show us some stuff around that?
Yeah, I can show. Right now, it isn't a game. It is more of a administration UI, because most dashboards are boring with graph, with buttons, with things like that. So I wanted to do a different kind of dashboard. The idea is we have released the node pools feature in order to inside Kubernetes being able to auto scale your cluster by adding new nodes. So I wanted to do a demo about that, and I wanted to use an administration UI to verify that, hey, you have new nodes, it's working. And I don't want to do it in a traditional way. So I decided, hey, way I can try to gamify the administration dashboard. For the moment, it's an early alpha. It is functional. The code is on GitHub, but there are lots and lots of things that are missing. So please don't begin to use it in production. But the idea is here I have Kubernetes invaders.
Let me see. Do people? Oh yeah, I have to enable it. Yes. Okay. Let me do like this.
Kubernetes invaders. So here I am seeing my Kubernetes invaders that see my Kubernetes clusters and get that we have one node pool called node pool B27. And for this node pool, it shows us how many nodes there are, what is the global CPU and memory request, and what pods are deployed in every node. So you see that. And for my gamification, for the demo I prepared, I created two special kind of pods. One pod that calculates prime numbers in a very nice way. So it is really CPU bound, calculating prime number after prime number. And another that is a bit more intelligent. It uses a less nice algorithm, but it puts the numbers in an array. So it is going to get more memory. I call them prime number pods and memory grabber pods. So here in the dashboard, you can see that in the first node, we have 4 instances of memory grabber. You see, okay, this instance, this another, each one taking 100 milli CPU and 1 gigabyte of memory, and the other, the prime numbers, they are taking 150 milli CPU and 15 megabyte of memory, and other normal Kubernetes pod like Canal, kubeproxy, our metric server, or wormhole. So here you have your node and what you have deployed. And by using this +1, you can send the commands to add new pods. So normally in a few moments, you are going to see the new pods arrive. What I'm doing in my Kubernetes invaders, I am sampling, and not this one, sorry, what is the other? Yeah, here. I am sampling, sending my instruction to the Kubernetes API when I have an autoscaler pod. My autoscaler, it is going to see the CPU and memory pressure in my nodes, global one and node by node, and decide that if all my nodes are fairly shared, it's going to add a new node to my node pool. So we are going to pass from 3 to 4 nodes. And then if we go back to our invaders, hey, they have added a new instance.
Oh, yeah.
And in the next iteration I am working with, you can directly kill one pod by clicking. For the moment, I kill one random pod by that. But before that, I am going to add some more memory pods in order to force the autoscaler. I am going to add 3.
Okay.
So if we go back to the backend, you see that, hey, I have sent the instruction to add the new one. I have modified my deployment to add the new replicas. And then before we had a CPU, a memory load of 768. Now we are at 87. So we go back to we have increased the load. Here, it's an administration UI. So it isn't asking to the resources every second. It asks every 10 seconds, something like that. And we have seen that my 3 clusters begin to get loaded. I think if we add 1 or 2 more pods, yeah, we have many memory grabber pods. We add 2 more. If we have more than 80%, my autoscaler pod is going to detect that and add a new one, and we will see, yeah, we have a problem. So now you see over there, we are adding new nodes. They are blinking because they aren't ready yet. And the idea is, as I add them before the cluster is full, I can still operate my cluster. And when the node is ready, maybe before the node is ready, I can still add new pods. So there is no moment where you want to add pod and they get blocked because you have no more place. And the idea was to show it with a more ludic, in a more ludic way, more visual way.
It is awesome. That is exactly what we all need. And yeah, it looks really nice. And the design is really nice. You did it all by yourself?
Yeah, even the small icons, the small invaders.
Wow. That's super.
I have done it really simple. I use web components with a small library called lit element because I want it to be able to be integrated in any standard application, Angular, React, Vue, whatever. So by keeping with web components, it is fully web standard.
Wow! And you said it's it's on GitHub. People can
look at it. This version tailored for the node pool use is already in GitHub, and I am working in a more generic version, like a small administrator dashboard for people learning Kubernetes. So the current version, it's very adapted to our use case with this kind of special pods in order to show our demo. But the generic one, the idea is to be able to use it to administer your cluster while you are learning Kubernetes in order to have something a bit more fancy, a bit fancier than a standard tool, a ludic tool to learn your Kubernetes.
Okay. Can you share it maybe in the private chat? The
link? I can get in that. Yeah. As I told, the current version, it is a very generic yet, but you can begin to look at it. It was for the OVH Cloud ecosystem experience that last week.
Last week, okay. So, So let me grab it and I put the link for the people there. On YouTube at least. And people from from Twitch. Sorry, I don't have it open here, but I will share it on Twitter. Maybe you will. Did you tweet about it? Maybe if you tweeted about it.
Yeah, there are some tweets about last week, and I can retweet about it after that. I will send you a mention, so you will be able to retweet or to share it yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that is super, super, super cool. And I just look, because I'm learning the tool, I was not able to put our faces together.
Hey, look at that. Our node is ready. You have already our fourth node that is there.
Oh, awesome.
It is you can't put pods in it because the installation isn't finished, but it is already bound to the Kubernetes cluster. So when it will be ready, it will get blue at the others, and we can begin to add the new, and the global load, look at that, is already lower.
Okay, super cool. Okay, hey, I'm looking at the time. Yeah, okay. Hey, you told me already you are working on that, and maybe there will be a multiplayer version that we will be able to play with. And I know,
it is the idea. Before I want to do the generic version, and then when the generic version will be done, I have one idea to do it multiplayer. We have a playing cluster, and then we can have teams and trying to destroy other team pods.
Okay, super cool. It's time for me to go to the next section of the show already, but you show us so many great things. Let me double check the chat. Yeah, Wayne and say, that's so cool. Pierre Tibut is there. So maybe he's arriving just now, but he can watch a replay. We will have maybe a nice sketch note of the show. He has made some crazy sketch notes for our conference, but also for the show. He's often here on the show, and he does some crazy stuff. Okay, so let me see how that works with the screen. So I got, yeah, here we're back. Oh, we're back side to side here. Oh, I understand. I'm learning. Anyway, hey, Horacio, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. It was really fun. Thank you very, very much.
And now, yeah, it's time for me to go back to back quality for the other people. I'm sorry. I see it here. Restream says that I have 5 on 10 network connection quality. I don't know why, but we will see how it goes for the rest of the show. Okay. Hey, anyway, thank you so much, Horacio, and speak to you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Okay, we are back. And let me see. Yeah, my quality is bad. So one thing that's possible is I should have used Chrome for this kind of tools. I'm on Firefox here. Anyway, let's hope. You know what? You are going to tell me on the chat what is better if I show you my screen like this. So let me share like this. So you should see my screen now. Okay, is it better quality this, or let me go back here and let me share my screen, and maybe if I share my screen, select entire screen. Okay, allow. Okay, so let me try to share my screen. Maybe it's better quality if I share my screen. But looks like he doesn't want to share my screen. It's super funny. Not. Okay, entire screen. Let me share. Let me try again. Allow. Okay, he doesn't allow me to share my screen, so it will be this way. Okay. Sorry again. I know it's fuzzy. Your screen is not really readable today. Yeah, I'm so sorry. And I don't, I cannot stop the, I cannot stop the stream and try it on Chrome. That's too dangerous. And I don't know why I cannot share my screen, because when I share my screen, select window, yeah, that is because of how you call that? Firefox cannot allow permanent access to your screen. Oh, they don't want me to. It's Firefox. Firefox is playing with me. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going back to this screen. So you should see here infinite mode. So here you see the stream, the stream, the restream screen. Okay, but the ID. At least you are not using IE or Edge. Yeah, exactly. Let me go slowly then, and let me zoom so everyone can see. Starting point of the demo that I will show you is not really a game today, but it will be fun. Was Max. You remember I told you about a project from Max called JBang, where you can really easily run Java code like a script. And he came with this tweet: JavaFX 3D is fun and powerful. Yeah, I agree. And now you can do JavaFX 3D with JBang. And for me, that was a trigger, because I always wanted to try out JavaFX 3D. And every time when I need to set up a new project, yeah, I end up doing something else, because I don't want to set up a new Maven project, find the dependencies. But now in one script, I can play with this. Okay, let me show you how it looks like. So let me go here. And you can go to the street as well. If I do JBang and directly the gist that he linked, you should see here, and I hope it's not too fuzzy, a snake game, but in 3D. And believe me, it's super hard to play. I tried to play it. A snake, the normal snake is easy, but snake in 3D, it's really hard. Look. Oh, I get one, and I look at the code, and I say, "Oh, let me play with it as well." Okay, so you can go there and you can play it. So Let me just try to get another one. No, I definitely am too bad at this game. Oh, not at least. And the crazy thing is, let me stop this. Okay, the crazy thing is, if you go there and you go to the gist, open in a new tab, and that you look at the code, let me share the code with you of this game. Okay, we see a blue and a yellow square. Yeah. Could you zoom in, Sebi? Yeah, I could not zoom in now. It's too well. It could, but not in the middle of the show. That will be crazy. I shared the link there with you of the gist. Take a look how simple it is. So it's just one class, and here you just add your dependencies. Let me zoom maximum here. Here, JavaFX dependencies, and then you just write your JavaFX app, okay? And wow, you need to know a bit about JavaFX 3D, but quite simply, you can create your own crazy scripts, and you could imagine that it's what I did, okay? I say, okay, what I do, my thing is playing with pods and integrating stuff with Kubernetes. So I say, let's make a JavaFX program software that connects to my Kubernetes cluster, okay? And there we are. I got a script here. And again, let's hope that you see a bit what it is, but basically I have my JavaFX, and look at this. I also have the Fabricate Kubernetes client. That is an awesome library. I already mentioned it last week because I use it a lot in Quarkus. Basically, it's a client, a Kubernetes client to talk with your cluster and to retrieve pods, to create pods. It's really easy to use. And I say, well, let's use that in my JavaFX project, okay? And what I did, let me start the project because it will be better. Let me clear here, and let me do JBang shapes. So that's here locally, and that will start my project. And look at here. You should see a green cylinder. That is my trash bin for my pods. Okay, I'm going to spawn some pods here as circles, as spheres that will appear when I will create them in my cluster, and they should appear here in my scene. Okay, let me just see how it looks like. Yeah, you see it a bit. You don't need to read any code here. So green square. Well, James, it's not a square, it's a cylinder. Okay, imagine it's a cylinder. Okay, and now what I will do, I'm in the wrong window. Let me clear. I'm connected to a cluster. You probably cannot read it, but if I do a kubectl cluster info, I'm on an Amazon cluster, okay, on the default namespace, and I have no pods running here. And let me make it a bit smaller, and let me do something like that, and let me bring back the game here. The game is over here. It's not a game, well, but okay. And what I'm going to do now is to create a pod. Okay, I'm just creating a simple pod, and I apply it to my cluster. There we go. And we should see a pod getting created. And look at there. I got a sphere, a little blue sphere getting created. And that is my pod. And I can just grab it and move it around. That is my pod, okay? And if I create another one, I will have a second pod. But what I can do here, remember, that is a trash bin. I can take my pod and put it in the hash tray. And look here, you should, if you cannot read it, here saying terminating, and my pod has been deleted. So I can manage my cluster with JavaFX, okay? I have another demo around this. Let me just double check the chat. Green square, yeah, okay, there we go. So we have created a pod that was funny. let me stop the game. Oh, yeah, I got some concurrent modification exceptions. I still need to fix some stuff around this game, but anyway, let me start it again. And what I also have in this cluster are knative services, okay? And if I do kn service list, I should have 3 services. I got a Spring Boot service, a Node.js service, and a Quarkus service, okay? And let me grab this URL here and let me paste that in the chat. And please click on this. And because it's a knative service, it should appear. There it is. Someone has clicked on it. Yeah, thank you. So that is my Quarkus. That is my Quarkus spot here. Again, I can move it around, and since it's a knative service and backed by a deployment, if I delete it, poof, well, it gets destroyed, but another one is getting created. Okay, because you always want to have one pod running at least. Okay. Okay, let's have some fun. Let me give you the link of the Spring Boot application. There we go. Please, if you can click, and I will try to be fast here. And you, oh, what is this? Oh yeah, that is my Spring Boot application. It's a bit bigger, a bit fatter. Okay, you know, that is my Spring Boot application. And I can also delete it if I want. Woo, does it fit in the bin? Well, let's see. Oh yeah, it fits because he already created another one for me. And there it is. So here, I'm sorry, I'm just a bit trolling. But so let me show you the code quickly. The code is basically, I use my client, my Kubernetes client, like here, default Kubernetes client, and I can create a watcher, okay? So I don't know if you can see that. Let me see, because there's a small delay. Yeah, you cannot really read that, I guess, and I'm so sorry. Let me zoom one more time. And what I can do, with this client, I can say client pods in namespace default watch, okay? And that creates a watcher for me on pods, and it watch everything that happens around pods. And every time something happens in my namespace, I have an event received. And if it's a new pod, added pod, okay, I do here something with Winnable because JavaFX is funny with threads, etc. Anyway, I do here add sphere. I create a sphere and I pass the pod name. Okay, and let's take a look at add sphere. Add sphere is here. Add sphere is here. So I create some material. Here, that is the trick. If the pod starts with booted, if it's a Spring Boot pod, then I make it way bigger. Okay, and I change the color. Otherwise, it's just a sphere of 50, and I make it blue. Okay, that's how simply it works. Let me see if people are clicking on it. Yeah, and you can also, if you want, you can also start the Node.js app. Let me see. So I can see that people are still clicking on it because otherwise it will scale to 0. Let me go there. Let me paste that, and we should have a third. Oh, that's the wrong one. We should have a third one. Let me close this one. Let me close this one. Let me see. Hey, there. Oh, it disappeared. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, no. I have some bugs because, to be honest, I suck a bit at 3D stuff. So here we have the pod. Oh, yeah. And, and let me delete this one. Let me delete this one. Let me delete. Oh, where it is. Yeah, I got a small bug here. My pod is there, but yeah, there it is. I cannot grab it anymore. Anyway, that was just to show you how fun JavaFX can be. Yeah, let me see. Let me come back here. It was not really a game. Well, you could click the links. You could see Let me go back here to the big view. Okay, should be better. Big view. Okay. So I advise you, if you want to play with JavaFX and you were like me, yeah, I don't know really how to start. Well, JBang is a good way of kicking off a new project. Okay. Again, like all my other projects, I need to clean it up. I will write about it, blog about it. I need to do that for all the games that I show you since a few weeks now. Again, as I told you, the next 2 coming weeks, there won't be a show. We are back in December. Maybe that will give me some time to polish all the other games and publish them. Anyway, let's start. Let's finish today 5 minutes earlier. I hope you enjoyed that funny demo. I personally really enjoy making it. Just creating your pods and seeing they're appearing as 3D spheres is really funny. It's really satisfying when you code that. Okay. Yeah, the show is still announced. I need to I need to announce to the people that manage the schedule that the 17th is also canceled. But yeah, good one, DJ Maddie. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the show as usual. I wish you a great time during these 2 weeks. We will be back in December for Christmas related shows maybe. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much. And see you in 2 weeks from now. Bye-bye.